Hello readers, it's Sasha and I'm back. So I really didn't know if I would ever come back to booktube. I thought about it, I dreamt about it a couple times, but I never actually thought I would make the transition back to doing booktube. I guess a little bit of a life update. As most of you know from my last video, I did lose my beautiful angel of a cat, Peaches, 2 years ago now, and that loss really shook me hard. I still think about her a lot. I still grieve for her. I still cry for her. That's never going to change, I don't think, but her loss just really shook me, and I needed some time away from most of the aspects of my life, including booktube, just to grieve. I just needed some time to grieve on my own. And then I ended up dealing with some health issues that are still ongoing, but I have been, for the past 2 years, dealing on and off with issues with the ankle that I broke way back when in 2021. So the past 2 years have kind of just been null and void. Like, I have not really been doing anything, but I am now at a place where I feel more excited about booktube. When I think about coming back, I immediately just feel excited. I feel just joy when I think about it, and that's how I knew that I was probably on the right track to coming back. I have a new job. My health is hopefully getting better. I've had a lot of surgeries and it's been a very long road, but I think we're probably, hopefully, maybe on the end of the road, maybe, potentially. So I just feel now is a really good time for me to come back to booktube. A couple of new additions to my life. So people who have been on this channel for a long time, they know my kitty Pepper. I've had Pepper for 3 years now, and then I also have Plum, who is going to be 3 in August. But I did also get 2 other cats,
because I'm a crazy cat lady officially.
I have Goose. He just turned 2 this year. He's a little menace and I love him very much. And I also got Squish, who was a surrender to the animal hospital that I worked at a while ago. And I instantly fell in love with him. He was a little angel baby kitten and he wouldn't eat for anybody, and then he ate for me. So I just felt like it was meant to be. So yeah, he is my little angel boy. They're all my little angel boys, and then my one little angel girl. There hasn't really been like a whole lot else happening other than new job, new surgeries, and just kind of grieving and learning how to be a cat mom without being a cat mom to Peaches, which might sound really silly, but she was definitely my soul cat. So it has been a really hard journey. But as you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be doing my Goodreads Chooses My TBR again for the first time in 2 freaking years. I've not really felt the same call to reading into books as I felt when I was doing booktube. Obviously last year, if you are a follower of mine on Goodreads, then you do know that I've read a lot, but nothing has really stuck out to me in the same way that it has when I was doing booktube. So I decided now's the time to start doing Goodreads Chooses My TBR again. We shall see if anything really just sticks out to me and I end up loving things as much as I did when I was originally on booktube for the first time. So for those of you that don't know what Goodreads Chooses My TBR is, essentially I just have a whole whack of books on my want to read list on Goodreads. I throw that number in a random number generator and I pick 5 numbers, and those 5 numbers correspond with the 5 books that I'm hopefully going to read for the month. There are no punishments if I don't get to read them. Life is too short to punish yourself if you're not reading a book that you thought you might want to read. I just don't want to do that, so I'm not going to. So same-ish rules still apply. I'm still going to do 5 books to start. I did, over the last 2 to 3 times I did it 2 years ago, I added a dice roller in to choose how many prompts I chose or how many books I chose, but I just don't want to do that this time. I just want to start with 5. I'm still going to have my wild card number, so if I end up picking a number between 0 to 9 in the random number generator, if I land on a book that has a ending number that corresponds to my wild card number, then I have to add an additional pick to my TBR. I'm not going to do the thing where if I land on a book that isn't out yet, I have to add like another pick. I just don't really want to do that. I just want to start and do 5. I don't want to pressure pressure myself. I just feel like that'll lead to me burning out really quickly again. And I do have a lot of ideas for what I want to do for booktube, and I don't want to burn out so fast. So I think that's how I'm going to do this and start this. And yeah, if you have any questions, of course, I will link maybe my Goodreads Chooses My TBR playlist down below so you can get somewhat of a sense of how I've played this in the past and how I'm going to play it moving forward. But the plan is to do this every month still, and I do still want to potentially read, well, not potentially, I still want to read the owned books on my TBR. So I think what I'm going to do, if I don't correspond with 2 books that I own from the Goodreads Chooses My TBR challenge, what I will end up doing will be at the end putting all of the books, because I have them, I keep track of them, in a Google spreadsheet. What I'll do is I'll put them all in a list randomizer and then just pick 2 from that list to read for the month. Because I'm not really a mood reader, I can kind of read whatever, but I also just want to give myself some grace. So if I do end up landing on a couple through the Goodreads Chooses My TBR, I don't want to add more and then not get to it and then get overwhelmed. And it's just a cycle that I don't really want to get into. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm really excited but really nervous because I haven't done this in so long. It's been literally 2 years. I've not done Goodreads Chooses My TBR since the last time I picked this up. So I'm really excited. So I have my screen recording beside me here, and I just wanted to pick the wild card number and see kind of where we're at with that. Alrighty, so I have my minimum and my maximum is 0 through 9. Let's see which random number is going to be my wild card number. 8. So if I land on any numbers that end in the number 8, then I'll have to add an extra book. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. I have 2,151 books on my want to read list on Goodreads because I have no self-control, and any book that looks remotely good, or if it's by an author I liked, I will add with 0 hesitation. So this should be interesting. So I'm going to put 1 and 2,151 in my random number generator, and let's just see what comes up. So our first pick is going to be 1,159. So let's go over to page 12, and then we're going to go down to 59. So it's The Night She Disappeared by April Henry. So this is a mystery thriller. I do not own it, but I'm always down for mystery thrillers. I can bang through those pretty quick. So let's see what this says. Gabby drives a Mini Cooper. She also works part-time as a delivery girl at Pete's Pizza. One night, Kayla, another delivery girl, goes missing. To her horror, Gabby learns that the supposed kidnapper had asked if the girl in the Mini Cooper was working that night. Gabby can't move beyond the fact that Kayla's fate was really meant for her, and she becomes obsessed with finding Kayla. She teams up with Drew, who also works at Pete's, and together they set out to prove that Kayla isn't dead and to find her before she is. So it's super short, it looks like, and sounds like a basic young adult mystery thriller, but I love those, and I've been reading primarily fantasy for the last month, so this will be nice because I'm always looking for a good mystery thriller, especially one that I can just get through really quickly on like a day off work. So this should be good. All right, moving on to the next pick. 1,833. Alrighty. So we'll go to page 19, and we are looking at Detour by A. Marie. So this is a contemporary romance. That cover is giving. It's not giving good, but it is giving. Angela. Head down, eyes peeled for any opportunity to get off the dead-end course my mother carelessly paved for me years ago. My plan takes a sharp turn, landing me directly across the hall from Creekwood's resident bad boys. The 3 street bike riding misfits are as stubborn as they are sexy. And they are sexy, especially the one with the mocha swirl eyes watching my every move. But even the 6-foot hallway separating us can't keep the overbearing trio from constantly getting in my way. When my past threatens to catch up with me, I quickly learn not every detour promises an easier route, no matter how tempting my new neighbors might make it look. Cody. Head up, eyes locked on anything threatening to throw me off the carefully constructed path I have mapped out. I live my life the same way I ride my bike, never once regretting the roads I've chosen. Lately though, after years of the same scenery, everything's starting to blur together. It's only when our elusive neighbor girl comes out of nowhere that I realize what's been missing. And now that I have, I don't think I can let her pass by so quickly. At least not without proving the lengths I'll go for her first. Okay. Sounds like a stereotypical romance that I would find on Kindle, which I've been reading a lot more of lately. We'll see how this goes. It might be good. It might be generic. We'll see. I don't really know why I added it, to be honest, but anyways, that's fine. All right, so now we're going to pick number 3. 1,000 even. That has literally never happened before. I love that. Okay. And if you hear something that sounds like it's about to take flight into the sun, that's my computer. She's working overtime, and we just have to respect her for it at this point. And it's on 10. Okay. Moonlight Sins by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Yes. Okay. I love a good Jennifer L. Armentrout book. This cover is also giving. It's giving soap opera in the worst possible way. It's fine. Julia Hughes has always played it safe until she learned a very painful lesson. Now Julia is starting over with a job in the Louisiana Bayou and a scorching encounter with a stranger, only to discover he's Lucian? It's Lucian. That doesn't even sound remotely right, but it's fine. DeVincent, her new employer. The DeVincent brothers share a massive fortune and a dark reputation. Julia cares for their troubled sister, but a menacing presence in the mansion and the ever-present temptation of Lucian prove dangerously distracting. His grandmother claimed DeVincent men fall in love once and hard. Apparently, it's Lucian's turn. Julia's compassionate care of his twin makes Lucian want to lay himself bare. But some secrets are better for Julia not to know. The recent suicide of Lucian's father is the latest in a string of deaths on the estate. Someone is eliminating the DeVincents, and the best way to get to Lucian may be through Julia. ... That sounds really good. I probably just added it without even remotely paying attention as to what it is because it's a JLA book and I freaking love JLA with my whole heart and soul. So this is gonna be good, I feel. So as long as we're still on the same track, I should only have 2 more picks left. So this should be good. Let's go to pick number 4. 1527, so 1527. So we're gonna go to page 16, Exactly Where You Need to Be by Amelia Diane Coombs. This looks to be a contemporary romance, and it looks to have some mental health aspects in it, so that'll be interesting. Florrie's OCD and her mother's worrying have kept her from a lot of things, like having an after-school job and getting her driver's license. And now that she's graduated high school, while her best friend Casey is headed off to Portland in the fall, Florrie's taking a parent-sanctioned gap year off before starting college. When the decision was made, Florrie was on board, but now she can't ignore the growing itch to become the person she wants to be and venture outside the quaint, boring Washington town she grew up in. Winning tickets to see her favorite true crime podcast live show in California gives her the opportunity to do just that, if only for a few days. So unbeknownst to their parents, Casey and Florrie set off on a road trip to San Francisco. The only downside in Florrie's opinion, Sam, Casey's older brother and Florrie's forever crush, is their ride. The Samson Hodge, who Florrie hasn't seen since winter break and who she'd prefer to never see again if possible. But Florrie is willing to put up with Sam if it means one last adventure with her best friend. Making it to San Francisco and back to Washington without their parents catching on isn't a given, but one thing is for sure, this trip will change everything. That sounds like such a sleigh for a couple of reasons. 1, road trip. I love a road trip premise. That is going to be so fun. 2, San Francisco. Love San Francisco. Went to San Francisco before the world shut down. So good. I loved it. I had such a great time. One of my favorite places in the entire world. Love stories set in San Francisco. Really in any place that I've been so that I can just be like, hey, even if it's like not fully set in it, they've mentioned it. So now I feel cool. And finally, the third thing that makes this super jazzy is the fact that there is a best friend relationship that I feel is going to be very present and heavy in this, and I love friendship. Obviously there's going to be romance, it's young adult, they're probably going to focus more on the romantic aspect than the friend aspect, but I still feel because they mentioned it so heavily in this description that hopefully they will focus on the friendship aspect and we get a great little cute friendship with a side of romance situation. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't exactly feel that that's going to be the case, but it's really cute. The cover's really cute, so I'm actually really excited. Okay, finally we're on our last pick, which I'm super excited about, so let's go ahead and pick our pick book number 5. 125. Okay, that's gonna be a sleigh. Okay, we're gonna go to page 2. The Beginning by Mia Tavor. So this is a fantasy series. It's the beginning of a fantasy series, if you will. I actually remember adding this. I found it on Pinterest and I was like, this sounds so good. So let's see if I actually know anything. When 15-year-old Alex Laren moves to a bizarre Canadian town, love that for me, her life changes forever. She makes an inconceivable revelation. She belongs to a covered elite empowered by the stars to control any living thing. There is a catch though. Not all of them are gifted equally. In a special school where they learn and train their mighty powers, they're divided by color. Reds are the strongest, blues are mediocre, and yellows are the weakest and therefore despised. Under the imperious regime of arrogant reds, defiance is met with severe reprisal, but Defiance is in Alex's blood. Wearing a blue uniform and consumed by anger, she soon finds herself standing alone to both the tyrannical Reds and their dark, alluring leader, Jake. With sinister secrets around every corner, Alex will make one more dangerous discovery, so dark and blood-curdling, that she may find herself challenged as never before. No star can shine without darkness, and no darkness is everlasting. Welcome to the addictive world of constellations. So this should be interesting. I actually don't know. Now that I'm reading it back, I'm like, we'll see. I fear this may not be as good as I expected it to be when I initially added it like 4 years ago. I'm still gonna give it a shot if I can find it anywhere, because it does not have like any ratings or reviews. That actually kind of makes me more excited because it doesn't have any ratings or reviews, so I feel like I could like start a trend. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's all for our 5 picks from Goodreads. So I didn't land on anything I owned, unfortunately, which is not surprising considering I own about 303 books/series that I have not read. And I have about 2,100 on my to-be-read list. It's not surprising that I didn't land on anything I own. But I still feel like I want to include a couple of those things, and I still have a couple of books to go through anyway with you guys. So let's just go ahead and go through those and pick a couple of books on my owned to-be-read list. So I've thrown all 303 in a random list generator, and it's randomized my list so that I don't really know which number is going to coordinate with what. And I'm going to put 303 in my random number generator, and I'm just going to pick 2. So the first is 213 and the second is 267. Let's go ahead and look at what 213 is, shall we? Shut up, 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 shut up. Shut up. I received this as a gift in like Secret Santa forever ago. Like literally, I want to say I was 12 when I read this. It was first published in 2011, so I might have been 12 or 13. So it was really soon after it had just come out, and I received it that year. And I still think about it. I read the first one. I read this, but I still think about it. None of the other books were published, and now they have other published books. So this, I can read this, and I can get the other published books, and I can finish the series because I still think about it. Oh my god, that's so good. I'm actually really freaking pumped for that. Okay, that is a slay. Most American teenagers want a vacation in Italy, but the Betterini sisters have spent every summer of their lives among the romantic hills with their archaeologist parents. Stuck among the rubble of the medieval castles in rural Tuscany on yet another hot, dusty archaeological site, Gabby and Leah are bored out of their minds. Until Gabby places her hand atop a handprint in an ancient tomb and finds herself in 14th century Italy, and worse yet, in the middle of a fierce battle between knights of 2 opposing forces. Suddenly, Gabby's summer in Italy is much, much more interesting. And there are literally like 3 or 4 books in this series. I'm actually so freaking jazzed. When I tell you, I would sell my soul for this. Like, I'm so excited. And then we have 267, which is The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas, which is literally just a mystery, young adult mystery thriller. I know this because Cara Thomas, that's the primary type of work that she does. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis. There are no more cheerleaders in the town of Sunnybrook. First, there was the car accident, 2 girls gone after hitting a tree on a rainy night. Not long after, the murders happened. Those 2 girls were killed by the man next door. The police shot him, so no one will ever know why he did it. Monica's sister was the last cheerleader to die. After her suicide, Sunnybrook High disbanded the cheer squad. No one wanted to be reminded of the girls they lost. That was 5 years ago. Now the faculty and students at Sunnybrook High want to remember the lost cheerleaders. But for Monica, it's not that easy. She just wants to forget. Only Monica's world is starting to unravel. There are the letters in her stepdad's desk, an unearthed years-old cell phone, a strange new friend at school. Whatever happened 5 years ago isn't over. Some people in town know more than they're saying, and somehow Monica is at the center of it all. There are no more cheerleaders in Sunnybrook, but that doesn't mean anyone else is safe. Sounds good. Cara Thomas wrote one of my favorite mystery thriller, like young adults, back in like 2021, I think it was, Little Monsters. So I'm excited to actually read this from her and get this off of my physical TBR once and for all, hopefully, if I choose to read it, which I definitely will. It's just if I get to it this month, I guess. Next, I have 2 final books that I'm hoping to get to. These are the 2 main books that I definitely have to get to this month. The first is the Whiners Book Club pick. So the Whiners are sort of trying to make a comeback. It's been a little rocky because our schedules have just been so different. And then I've dealt with these health issues, so I haven't always been present when the other girls have been ready to be. So it's been a little tricky to try to find some time, but that's fine because we're still going to. Our plan for the month of May is to read Her Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. So I don't actually really know what this is about other than the fact that it's like a fantasy, there's witches, and it's supposed to be queer, so that's really exciting. But let's just take a look and see, okay? If you look hard enough at old photographs, we're there in the background. Healers in the trenches, suffragette, Bletchley Park oracles, land girls, and resistant fighters. Why is it we help in times of crisis? We have a gift. We're stronger than mundanes, plain and simple. At the dawn of their adolescence, on the eve of the summer solstice, 4 young girls, Helena, Leonie, Nave, and Elle, took the oath to join Her Majesty's Royal Coven, established by Queen Elizabeth I, as a covert government department. Now, decades later, the witch community is still reeling from a civil war, and Helena is now the reigning high priestess of the organization. Yet Helena is the only one of her friend group still enmeshed in the stale bureaucracy of HMRC. Elle is trying to pretend she's a normal housewife, and Nave has become a country vet, using her powers to heal sick animals. Love that for her. Okay, new favorite immediately. In what Helena perceives as the deepest betrayal, Leonie has defected to start her own more inclusive and intersectional coven, Diaspora. And now Helena has a bigger problem. A young warlock of extraordinary capabilities has been captured by authorities and seems to threaten the very existence of HMRC. With conflicting beliefs over the best course of action, the 4 friends must decide where their loyalties lie, with preserving tradition or doing what is right. Okay, when they suggested this, I was just like, sure, whatever, I'll read literally anything. This sounds based as heck. I'm actually really excited about this. The final book, the book that I'm probably going to be reading first this month, is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. If you don't follow me on Goodreads, then you probably don't know that I've been rereading the Throne of Glass series. I really liked the first 4 books when I read it back in 2018, 2019. And then the last 3 happened and I was like, what is this? I actually hate this. But one of my best friends is obsessed with it, loves it, and was sending me all these TikToks. And I was like, I actually don't remember literally anything you're sending me. So I'm just gonna reread it. So I'm rereading it. I'm really liking it. I'm having a great time, but it's a lot because there are so many characters and it's just very dense and very thick at times. But I am really genuinely loving it and having a great time reading it. It's just a lot. I'm hoping to read Kingdom of Ash. I want to start this month with that and just get it done. Not because I want this to be over, but because it's been a lot of fantasy and I don't want to prolong it because I feel like I'll put it off if I don't read it first. This is everything for the month of May that I am going to allegedly be reading. We'll see if that actually happens. I've been reading slower lately, so if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to beat myself up over it because it is what it is. It's life. Things happen. Sometimes you just want to watch TV. Sometimes you just want to nap. You never know. But I just feel like this is a great time for me to try to get this going. With that being said, I feel like this is the perfect time to mention that you should comment, and subscribe for more content. I will be posting every Wednesday. I'm not going to be posting twice a week like I used to. I just don't really feel like I have the time and I don't want to commit to something that I can't give you. So I'm going to be posting once a week. I have all kinds of fun videos planned for the month of May. And by all kinds, I mean 5 because that's how many Wednesdays there are. I have a fun little vlog that I'm planning. So none of the books actually, I'm supposed to read 4 more books for the vlog and that's going to have to come first as a priority.
So
we're definitely not reading all of these. I'm just gonna have to pick and choose which ones I want to read the most because your girl cannot read that much. So that's fine. But you'll see what all of that is as the month progresses. So like I said, give a like, give a comment, subscribe for more content. I'll be posting once a week now. And that is all. So I guess what I'm left to say is, how did I do it? Oh, bye readers!